And we talked about it. And actually, I thought it was a good idea at the time. I actually thought, like, because I didn't think there was any way Jerry, was going to vote for Dan. So in my mind, and he didn't either. And we talked about it, and I was like, okay, well, I'll give you Keisha, no big deal. Because the thought was, Keisha's a very smart girl, and I'm friends with Keisha too. I talked to her yesterday. And I knew whenever she got voted out, I thought that she would put two and two together and be like, all right, Memphis Dan obviously have something together, and especially when Jerry left after that she'd be like, okay, it wasn't just Memphis voting me out. It was both of us. So, and I think she did realize that, but, she was still a little.
That's where I had to work a little magic. So. Good question.
From Rich 1, do you think there's anything Big Brother can change to make the game more interesting or challenging?
What about this is something that we came up with whenever they threw in the 10 grand in
the gold bars.
In the gold bars. And me and Dan, you probably heard us talk about this a lot, about the gold bars and how we think they threw that in this year to kind of test it out because it would
change the whole dynamics of the game. You didn't really see the gold bars being used at all, and to their fault. I mean, that's a huge leveraging position to have that money. And we were talking about you enter the game, maybe you give everyone 10 gold bars for $10,000 and see how that works.
Yeah,
that could be tricky to track in terms of producing, but it would change the game. However, the thing I think about this season that was enjoyable, at least for me, was the fact that there was no twist. It went back to kind of like old school Big Brother, where you don't necessarily need to have a twist to make the season good. It's going back to basics,
But nobody used the gold bars.
No one used them
as
at
much
all.
as we thought it was going to make a huge. At the beginning, we were like, this is going to make a huge difference. But when it came down to actually using, nobody wanted to man up. I mean, I guarantee if I was on the block and I had $5 grand in gold bars, I'd be like, here, take the damn money.
You tried to use a slot pass.
Yeah, I tried to use a slot pass. You know what I mean? Like, I tried to use anything I could. But we think that, if they want to really spin it up, then give everybody 10 gold bars.
That would be interesting.
And see what happens.
See who's going to take what's behind door number one or take the cash.
Yeah,
exactly.
So. Yep. From Orty, do you guys know if Ollie and April are still together?
We had a bet. Did you lose yet, or did I?
What was the bet?
The bet that they would be
it was
like
a gold bar.
They would be like, $1,000.
We had a couple other bets, and we lost the other two. But what was the initial bet about?
I think the initial bet was like after a month. I don't think it's been a month yet, but after a month that we were going to see if they were together, and and he thought they would be, and I said no way, because you come to I don't know. I just think if you start a relationship in that house, it's just I don't think it's real. I don't when you come.
We have about 8 days. We'll find out if the bet's true or not. I think I think they found something special in each other. But outside of the house, things change so much, and there's a lot of pressure from other angles. And the best of luck to them.
From Houston, Cindy, Dan, who is it that wouldn't shake your hand at the wrap party?
I'm not sure how that information came out, but I don't know where that came from, but I prefer not to speak about that.
Fair enough.
Everyone was very cordial to me after the rap party, and everyone was very cool about it.
Who do you think that is, huh?
So everyone was very cool about it, and I was happy to say hello to everyone after the rap party, even though I didn't get a chance to move and talk to everyone, but I had a great time.
Okay. Sort of related question, sort of similar. Anyone asks, any house guest surprised you, good or bad, after the finale? Congrats, you were the best final two ever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
what? Somebody would say that?
So,
no,
she's saying congrats, you're the best final two ever.
I thought you asked one of the house guests said it does. I was like, no way.
But who surprised you?
Afterwards? Yeah. I think the biggest surprise, at least for me, and maybe for you too, because we talked about it, was the whole sex scandal. The whole Ollie and April.
Do we have a pillow?
You guys didn't know about that?
Do we have a pillow?
We didn't know about that, okay? We did not know about that at all. Like, we had no idea, because in public, it was like kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if they're kissing on the cheek in front of like me and Dan and Jerry, then they're obviously not doing it in front of millions of viewers. Well, obviously we were way wrong, and that was a big thing. That was a huge surprise. And Dan being America's player for a week.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise for me was that, well, not really surprised. We talked about Rennie owning a business. It doesn't surprise me really fast because she has a very sharp business mind, but, I tried to question her on that a couple times about where she has her salon. She told me she rents a chair. So how much do you rent your chair for? And she never gave me a straight answer. And to find out that Rennie's a very successful businesswoman, something that doesn't surprise me as her personality, but just something we didn't know about until we got out of the house.
Yeah.
Let's see. Question from Tilted Halo. Would either of you do Big Brother again?
Renegade return? I don't know.
It could be interesting. You know, there'd be a few stipulations. One, obviously, you would hate to go in the Big Brother house without your fellow Renegade. I would definitely not do it without him. Probably. I don't know. It
would have to be in the right frame of mind, the right time in your life.
Exactly.
It's a big thing to go into a house for 3 months and be away from it, your family and the people that you love.
Yeah.
It's huge, and it's huge to leave your career and stop everything and do this. So you definitely, and I was in a great place, and I think Dan was too, to leave. So you got to understand, like, say, add 3 more years to now. You know, obviously, if we were in the right spot in our careers, I think, you know, a comeback tour maybe, but you might even see the Renegades on Amazing Race, so who really knows?
Who knows? Yeah. But here's the thing about Memphis and I, we loved our lives prior to going in the house. We have great girlfriends. We love our jobs. You know, so Big Brother's just a way for us to make some money, have some fun in the summer. You know, this Big Brother wasn't the end-all, be-all for us. You know, we got very lucky in the final 2. I love the game. I love competing. But even if I wouldn't have won, I was still going back to, we both would have went back to lives we enjoyed. And you know, but to come back for an All-Stars, I guess we'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah. Let's see, from B-Bro OC. Why do you guys think that Michelle's still sticking with her Vanna story? Can't you just say it was a game and move on? And she lied?
What do you mean? What do you mean still sticking with it?
Is she still saying?
They don't say, but let's say she is. Yeah.
She's still sticking with it.
She's still sticking with it.
Look,
you saw it, didn't
let's
you?
clear up the banner thing right now. Everybody who's watching, because I saw it. I think I saw it more clear than anybody.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah.
I actually did think that it said Libra's name on the banner.